Do what you've been coached to do, what you know how to do, and play with incredible effort every snap. Hey, and for you seniors, make it one you'll never forget.
Let's go.
Everybody got it?
Let's go.
Let's get out there.
Let's go.
Let's go get it, man. Let's go!
Welcome to the Coach Bryan Moore Show. I'm Margaret Ann Prater alongside Coach Bryan Moore. And before we begin, Coach, let's list our sponsors. We got Life Church, Agency on Main, Marmac Commercial Real Estate, Peck Funeral Home, Eddie Pruitt Ford, Express Bath, Coleman Regional Hospital. Also, I'd like to remind you to tune in to the NFHS Network if you can't make it to the game on Fridays. And we're always on the Hartsville Tiger broadcast channel on YouTube every Wednesday. Coach, we're 6-2. If you want an old-fashioned football game, I think you got it. Lots of run game and defense.
Yeah, no doubt. It was what we, needed to do, and proud that we could execute that way. But, yeah, they kept it on the ground more than I expected to, so the game went really fast.
Right, it did. We were talking about that on the broadcast. A lot of people don't know just how powerful of an offense Athens had, and I just want to run that by you because I talked to Coach Newton about it, but you held them basically to about 30% of their usual output.
Right. They did a great job. I mean, the biggest, I guess, position of the game were the DBs. I mean, our offensive line, obviously players of the game, they did very well, but the DBs cut routes off. I mean, we've got two dynamic playmakers outside, 13 and 2. 2 gets all the kind of credit, but 13's a really good player too. But, Drake Borden, J-Caleb, Saban Witt, those guys cut routes off all night, which basically means that you don't give them a chance to high point a ball or catch a fade, and they sort of funneled them out of bounds. Did a really, really good job with that. We didn't get a bunch of hits on the quarterback like we're used to because they got the ball out so quickly, but all of it was screen or short game, tunnel screens and stuff like that. But they did a great job and they made them one-dimensional. But they, Athens was willing to play that game with us, with Seven and all the runs that he had. He's a big physical kid. He's a Division I guy.
Yeah.
Yep, they're very dynamic on offense, have a big left tackle that's been offered by Auburn. So, I mean, they've got some SEC guys and Division I guys, and our guys did a great job of kind of, limiting explosives, right, and then making it a sort of a one-dimensional game for them and making them run the football.
Well, and this is something that's kind of been a talk around the kids and fans and things like that. We're kind of literally limping into this week.
Yeah.
Are things getting better? Are we, looking forward to this off week?
Yeah, I mean, we're beat up. I mean, I think most people are at this point. I know I talked with Coach Gross after the game for them, and they were kind of in the same. Seven was a little bit beat up too. So, it just was so physical, and it has been for the last month for us. You think, back to Gaston City straight through, and this will be our 9th straight game. You hope that your bye week falls in the middle, but that's just not the way the schedule worked out. So for us, it's just been to continue to survive and win different ways. I think this is the most battle-tested team that we've had. We have won so many different ways at the end, and then the different scenario Friday was a kicking game deal. So we tried to kick it over their heads. We didn't execute the kick, and, I've got to make a better call there and put us in a better spot. But we gave them the ball up around midfield, but our guys got a 4 and out and then stopped them right there on 4th and 1. So, again, just so many different ways. Our offense has finished with the ball a couple of times and run out the clock. Then it was the defense's turn to step up and kind of finish the game for us then. So, just really proud of our kids and proud of where we are. We got another tough one, a rivalry game Friday, against a Decatur team that, we hadn't been on the road and played against since 20. So, that's a different place to play and that sort of thing. So, we're excited, but we're also excited about a bye week right after.
Absolutely. You said at the end of the game, we didn't progress this week.
Yeah.
Like you wanted us to.
I think,
like you thought.
I think probably from film it was a little bit better than I thought. I probably didn't give Athens enough credit after that game because I thought we had an opportunity to score more against them. Coach Bray did a good job, as our DC, and put them in, in good spots to kind of keep us from making explosives. And so we had to live on the ground and run it a whole bunch. And, of course, Rye had a, career night. I mean, he had quite a game again, and Lincoln too. I mean, both of them played really well. So I just didn't think we were as explosive. But then you got to the efficiency stuff, and we were, really efficient. We scored on 3 of 7 possessions, 7 possessions in a high school football game. It felt like an 8th grade game, just so limited. So, I thought, again, from an efficiency standpoint, and then going back and looking at the film and then with the offensive line and their play, I think it was better than I said after the game. So, again, I'll take back the fact that we didn't progress. I don't think we were as clean as we wanted to be overall, especially with the kicking issue right there at the end. But I think, again, you just, at this point in the season, you just win any way that you can, especially a rivalry region game. against a 5-1 team. You know, Gadsden City had 1 loss playing us. Oxford was undefeated. Muscle Shoals was undefeated. And Athens had 1 loss. And so, like, that's who we just got done playing for the last month. So, you know, again, we just sort of limping into this, but our kids are all going to practice today. They'll all be ready to go, albeit they don't feel as good as they want to. But hopefully, you know, once we get a couple weeks down the road, we'll be back to normal.
Well, and how do you do that? I asked Coach Newton this exact question. You know, you have played the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And you're going to a Decatur team that's struggling. And all of us are looking at that open week.
Yep.
I mean, anybody involved with this program, you know, you just need a little bit of a break. How do we keep that intensity up and keep these guys resting? But you know, it's just going to get tough in a couple of weeks. So they can't.
Right.
I mean, these are high school kids. You guys know how to manage the emotions.
Right.
So what do y'all do?
Well, you just keep talking about what the selling points are of the ballgame. And obviously, like, for our people, our community, like, this is the one, right? Like, I mean, you know, it's back and forth on, is it Coleman? You know, who is our biggest rival or not? It's just all about the sort of era, I think, that you live in. And, you know, we're still way behind, I think, in the Decatur rivalry. And so, you know, my goal is to hopefully make that up over the years here. But, you know, we have recently, it's senior night for them. And so there'll be a lot to play for those kids too. There's a lot of pride in that program as well. And so we'll need to play well. I think that's the biggest thing, is just find sort of the edge of each game and kind of what we want to really focus on. And again, with it being, I've started yelling it this morning, you know, we started going through walkthroughs and, you know, still Decatur week, you know, and it's not over. You know, the stretches, you know, the 4-game stretch that we talked a lot about, but this one's the 5th, and it's tough too against a team that's going to play really hard, and again, having to travel for the first time in a month too. So, you know, we'll have to play well, and but our kids will be up for it. You know, they're beat up, but still, when that adrenaline gets going and those emotions, when a lot of people are in the stands, they'll be ready to go.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We're watching the Coach Bryan Moore Show. Hi, I'm Jenny Tankersley.
I'm Dwight Tankersley.
And I'm Jane Hampton, and we're your agency on Main. Local realtors here to serve you. One of our team members will be more than happy to find you that perfect home. Go Tigers!
All right, we're here with Coach Bert Newton, defensive coordinator, associate head coach. We're going to talk about defense really quick. Coach, you called the defense out last week after giving up 55 points. And I had looked at the statistics from Brogan Gross before we played Athens. You know, he's ranked like number 3 in 6A, had 1,442 passing yards before he played against us. And y'all held him to 159 yards passing, right? Or was it 89 yards passing?
No, he's 89 yards passing.
159 yards rushing. And his completion percentage was 43%. So let's say something nice about him, because, I mean, they did pretty good.
They did really well. Our defensive backs, I mean, I can't remember a game that was more perfect as far as how they played it. The one touchdown that we gave up in the air was a complete and total utter pick. Like, the number 1 receiver came and cracked Cole Miles, which is illegal, and they didn't call it at all. But as far as the night, giving 89 yards up to those guys with how good they are skill-wise, and they're throwing for like 300-something yards a game. Unbelievable job by Coach Cole and his guys, and Coach Miller and his guys, and so I was super proud of them.
Well, and let's talk about the running game. They were averaging 4.1 yards a carry, much improved. Muscle Shoals was averaging 7.3. So, you know, how did we shut down the run this time?
Well, I mean, we always going to stop the run first. That's our goal. Number 20 went out. I don't know if he got hurt or what happened, but 7, that big boy that's going to Sanford, they started getting him downhill, and they also took 2, the state champion hurler, as usually a receiver, and put him back there some, and so it was a challenge. But our guys stepped up. I'll tell you when they really stepped up on that 4th and 1 play, when 7 got it, when everybody in the building knew he was getting it, and Jake hit him in the hole, and Kristen grabbed him, pulled him back, and he won the ball game for us.
Absolutely. I saw him up close. He was no joke.
Yes.
two guys we kind of called out last week and said maybe they didn't have their best game. But I looked at their stats this week, and boy, they do a 180. That was Falciani and Pruitt. Would you like to talk about how they played and the intensity they showed?
Yes. So, like, Jameson had 3 or 4 huge hits on multiple people. Even the first play of the game, they throw it out there to 2, and it's a hit screen, and we miss him, but we kind of make him go east and west, and then Jameson gets there and just, and it kind of, you know, when you start doing that early, the receivers don't want to catch them balls anymore, and they get them, you know, they don't get them big hands, they get them shallow hands, and so super proud of him. And then Jace in the first quarter wasn't rolling as good as he was, but towards the end of the game, that guy made so many plays, and he's so he goes hard. He is so fast and so sudden. He can just get on you and physical and all that stuff. So yeah, both those guys were great.
Well, and I want one more guy that I thought stood out was Saban Witt.
Had his best game ever. You know, I can talk about all the stuff he did, but the one play where they matched up their best receiver on him, the fade route towards I guess the north end of the stadium. He literally, everything that Coach Cole teaches him in cornerback drills, he shuffled right, he crossover ran, he got into his body, and at the end he finished by knocking the ball down. It was an unbelievable play. So he had a great night, and I'm so proud of him. He did.
That was pretty cool. All right, I asked Coach Moore the same question. You had 4 weeks of brutal football.
Right.
We're kind of limping.
We are a little bit.
Some injuries. You're headed to play a Decatur team that's struggling. Then you're going to have an off week, and then you've got Bob Jones coming up. How are you going to push? How do you push through right now when momentum may not be what's on our side?
Well, I mean, it's still Decatur. I mean, I don't care what the record is. If they're struggling, all coaching changes, everything, blah, blah. It's still Decatur. They still got a duper at quarterback. He can, and that kid can keep them on the grass at any moment on third down because he can scramble. He's great with his feet. He can throw it good enough. And, you know, we have a huge challenge on shutting them down. And then if we do that and take care of business, get to the off week, hopefully we can rest and recover and get some of these nagging injuries kind of healed up.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, Coach. I will be right back with Coach Bryan Moore Show.
This is Shane Odom with Marmac Commercial Real Estate. We approach real estate with our 3I approach: integrity, intelligence, and innovation. To be your full-service real estate company that can handle all your real estate needs, from commercial, such as warehouse, retail, apartments, to land, farms, residential developments, along with houses such as investment homes or your dream home. Marmac Commercial Real Estate has over 15 years experience providing award-winning full-service real estate experience. One team, endless possibilities. Marmac Commercial Real Estate.
Peck Funeral Home is owned and operated by folks who live in the same communities they serve. Our employees are the heart of our business. The funeral home proudly employs over 30 local individuals. Currently, the funeral home is managed by Jeff Halbrooks, who has held that position for over 20 years. Our goal is simple and has remained the same now since 1929. Peck Funeral Home strives to provide genuine service from the heart.
All right, we're back. And as an Alabama fan, Coach, I got to talk about how we love to use the moniker run the ball.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time. And, man, did you do it Friday night. Let's first talk about your trio of running backs and the effort they put forth.
Yeah.
That was Rye, Jaden, and Lincoln.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about their performance.
Yeah, obviously, everybody, Rye gets all the credit and rightfully so, and sort of, being the headliner and, just being chosen to play in the North-South game. And,
Yeah.
It's really cool and really proud for Rye and Peyton Steele as well. We have some others that I'm a little bit disappointed didn't get in, Jake Haynes being one of them. But I think, for our backs, Lincoln has been so good too. He's sort of overshadowed. I was looking at his numbers, and everything's about cut in half for Rye. It's the amount of carries, the total yards, all that stuff, even the touchdowns are about half of what Rye, but he would be a headliner for most every other team. Yeah. He's such a good player. And, when you see him, if you're a defender, he's not imposing, but he's shredded up and in great shape and tough and strong. And, again, his balance is as good as it gets. And then Jaden Morris getting some carries too. So, Jaden was a running back in ninth grade and the best ninth grade back I've seen since Rye. And so he's really a special player, but he's had to play receiver some for us. But now we're motioning to the backfield and running it with him. And For him, it's about ball security. Jackson Olin, he had 2 fumbles in that game, but since he's been better. And then Noah being the other one that really does a good job and kind of keeps us on the field. We didn't run him any the other night, but we can and have, and in big games he's had to do that. So, again, really proud of those guys and glad to have that group to where we can go to different options. And then the other 2 that we hadn't talked about is Gage Ownby, who's a senior who can play and will at some point. I just keep saying, hey, just wait your turn, one of those deals. And then Jeremiah Jennings can play as well. So we're very fortunate there.
Oh, definitely. Okay, this group, they've been campaigning, and I've been wanting to talk about them, and they deserve it this time. Your offensive line, tell me about the development. One of the questions that I asked the group today was, after the Austin game, did you think that you were going to be sitting at this table after having rushed for 300 yards? And their response was great. So what would you say about that?
I think having done it for a long time and seen especially new starters and, 4 of them being new, a lot of times, and then Chandler Keel being a new piece too, Stennett and Scout were the only 2 returning guys with any experience at all. And then you get hurt, right? And so you start shuffling the deck and that sort of thing. So, no, I think, you have to have a lot of patience with those guys. Coach Prater's done a really good job with them. I know we joke and stuff about how he is with those guys, but he does a great job. And Will Johnson's done a good job too, helping him, and J.D. Atkins as far as the fullbacks. So we're very fortunate. So I knew if any group of guys, coaching-wise, could get those guys going, it was them. And they have. And they're still not perfect. We're still starting a 10th grader at right tackle and Nolan Carroll, and he's growing up each game. But they're fighting, and they're learning what strain means. It's for the first 2 or 3 seconds within a play, kind of everybody's at full speed. But what I do in that last 3 or 4 seconds, when I'm having to strain and push, and all those sled pushes and squats and all those things that we've done for so long add up. And then the other part, like we talked about with Austin, is fitting things right and knowing who to work to. And not only which player to work to as far as defensive lineman or linebacker, but which shoulder to fit to. Where's the ball going? And is it inside run, outside run? Is it a C-gap run? And then you add in pass pro and all that kind of stuff. And I will say this, blocking guys like Christian and Porter every day, and Andrew Carroll has sharpened our skills. And those guys never get any time off. Like with the skill guys, we're sort of protecting Rye and taking care of Lincoln and taking care of Noah and some of our DBs. Those linemen, man, they're banging each other all practice. They just have to. That's just sort of the nature of who they are. And so I'm just really proud of them for their development and growth, and for us to rush for 300. And we're a little bit limited throwing the football. So for us to rush for 300 in that game when kind of everybody knew what was going on, I thought was pretty special.
Well, and I have a question about practice. This time in the season, are you perfecting what you've already installed, or are you adding new wrinkles still throughout?
Yeah, a little of both. I think you're crushing tendencies at this point. So, yesterday when we met, our last hour and a half of our Sunday meeting was on tendencies. And so, what tendencies we have off certain motions, and, when the fullback's in this gap versus, is he aligned with the tailback? And then are we reduced split from the wideouts? And, are we rocking and rolling the quarterback out of the backfield, which we do some, and direct snap it? What's that look like? What's the run to pass ratio when it comes to that? What's our screen ratio? How much stand screen stuff, bubble screen stuff are we taking? How much slow screen stuff are we doing? So I think all of that adds in, and then you take what you're doing really well and you just sort of try and dress it up. You're throwing the same stuff. Basically, we have 5 route concepts, but we do them in 150 different ways. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the point. But for the quarterback, the reads are all the same. And so we're trying to take that off the kids and get people open in different ways without having to add new plays. I think I've been different places, and I'll get there, and I can remember going to one in particular, and we get there and they installed inside zone during week 3 of the season. We would never ever do anything like that. Who we are. It's just about motions and shifts and formations to make those things better, and then personnel groupings too, to sort of dress things up to where the defense coordinator doesn't know exactly what's going on. But we've got to do a good job of that. There's a couple of real big tendencies that we have, and after 8 games, you really know that. Right. So it's our fault if we don't address those. And I think each week, especially the bye week, we'll really do that.
All right, we'll be right back. You're watching the Coach Bryan Moore Show.
Better is not just a word, it's a vision. And our vision is clear and focused on you. We're helping you get better by being better every day, by seeing what's possible and making it a reality. Investing in facilities because we are fully invested in you. Updating our technology for the better, and welcoming exceptional new physicians to our team. Because you get better when we get better.
Okay, we're here with our player of the game, the offensive line. So excited to have you guys on here. Guys, I've got a lot of questions for you. I know I'm kind of standing behind you, but just answer. I'd love as many for you to answer as possible. So let's start with our first question. All right, you know the benchmark to even get on the show is a rush for 250, right, per game. You guys had 300 yards rushing last week against Athens. So my question for you is, let's go back a few weeks to the Austin game. Do you think that you would ever be sitting here after your performance at Austin? Not everybody.
We go down the line, or are we gonna? I mean, we're all young. Half of us had never played before. But I mean, I'm glad we're here.
Been so much improvement since the Austin game. It's ridiculous. Like, we are so much more mature, more skilled. We've really worked at it, and we've just gotten better.
All right, so you think it was a skill. I was going to ask you why. And Jane kind of answered. Anybody else where it contributes to why you think you guys got better?
I think we just kind of gelled together more throughout the year.
Awesome. Okay. Well, this is another question I have for you. It's known throughout football that what you do is a thankless job, right? You're not getting the stats. You're not getting the highlight, all that other stuff. So my question to you is, why do you do it?
I couldn't see myself playing any other position.
Anybody else?
There was a job that needed to be done.
How do they? Well, I mean, I had these guys in class, so I know that they're capable of talking a lot. So I'm kind of encouraging the conversation. All right, this one's an easy one, and this one I want everybody to answer, okay? And Coach, you can answer this one too. This is an opinion question. Best defensive line you faced this year?
I would probably say Gaston City.
Okay. Nolan? Probably say your name while you come through so they'll know who you are.
Nolan Carroll, and I think it's Oxford.
Okay.
Chandler, I think it was Gaston.
His last name's Keel. Okay. Go ahead, Elliot.
Say your name.
Oh, Elliot and
Haas.
I would say I guess Gaston City. Yeah. Or Muscle Shoals is pretty tough too.
Okay.
Harrison Tapscott, I would say Oxford for sure.
Jaden Shekel, I'd say Gaston and Oxford about the same. They're just very different. Gaston was really big and strong, and Oxford, they were fast, and it was just crazy. Skeldar, I would definitely say Oxford.
Stenton Hagerman, and I think for me personally, because of the front, Muscle Shoals.
Those were good answers, guys. All right, this one's for Coach. We'll put him on the hot seat. All right, here's my question for you. It's a long question, so don't answer when I ask my first one. First thing is, how do you do it, okay? This group is in one position on the field that must work as a unit for it to go right, okay? So if one of them screws up, the whole ship's going down. So how do you take, and we have seen very, very personalities, how do you mold these guys together, get them to come together and work as a unit after, just several practices? It's not like you see them every single day and y'all practice it.
Well, I think it's a building process. I mean, it all starts like even in our off season, all these guys live together. So they spend, even though you see we're 8 weeks into the season and everybody's seeing the 8 weeks that we play games, they spent a lot of time together. And then at practice, they're all together and working together in drills. And so just like they talked about, the progress that they make is being around each other and playing with each other. They start to understand. We talk about communication all the time, and they get to a point when they play around each other enough that they don't even have to talk, that they know what the other person to either side of them is going to do on any given play and things like that. So that's why usually you see them progress as the year goes on is through doing all that. So they're awesome, spending all that time together.
Well, you could tell I've had a lot of your linemen in my class, and they're definitely a tight-knit group. But let's just play the if game. If you could pull anybody else off the roster and have them come be with your lineman group, who would it be?
Probably Christian.
Yeah.
Now, Porter wants to play tight end, but it'd probably Christian.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, you're off the hot seat. All right, we all know Coach Prater is known for being kind of stern sometimes, very vocal. But a lot of people don't know he's kind of funny. So what's the funniest thing that you guys have seen him do? I'm going to funny Coach Prater moment.
Our pre-practice talks are really good. I enjoy it when we all just kind of conversate with each other before our practice starts when we're about to warm up.
Y'all don't have anything good on him? This is your chance.
I think when he's like flaming like yeah, that was like we did it up in like the classroom. I think it was like Coach Hill's room one time during fall camp. That was pretty funny. Awesome. Like getting to watch that.
Anybody else? Okay, let's go. Let's go on to the next one. Seniors. We got a couple seniors here. What are you going to take away from, or 3 seniors, from this experience? From football in general, from getting to play with this group and this team. What are you going to take away from that?
Just think like the relationships for sure.
I think that's the same with me. Just team bonding and stuff. Just how to work with people better and stuff, and how to work as a team. Yes.
That's right, pretty. We're good. All right, y'all are about done. All right, everybody has to answer these. So, Coach, you can if you want to. It doesn't matter. I'd love to hear what you have to say. These are questions I've asked my player every week. So, I just want to get votes in. First one is, who has the best drip?
It's obviously me.
It's me.
It's me. For what I have to work with, I don't wear gloves, so I'm snapping the football. Off the field? Scout has just like dad fits.
Who is dad fit?
Scout wears a lot of cargo shorts.
I don't.
You definitely do.
Scout.
I am all the field.
These and everybody has named defensive backs.
I'm gonna say Stinnett. Off the field would be Stinnett.
Okay. Anybody else? Y'all all have to answer. Go ahead, Nolan.
Probably Winchy.
Yeah. All right, Winchy, you got a vote, man. All right, Chandler, you got.
I'd have to say Stinnett.
All right, Ellis.
On the field, I would say Scout Tiger. Pretty good job.
Okay.
I would say it's off field. I don't really know that many. Winchy has good drip off field. I would say that's some good drip.
Okay, go ahead, Harrison.
Like I said, off the field is definitely Stinnett. On the field is obviously me.
Okay, it's Hayden.
On the field, I'd probably have to say Drake Borden, and off the field, I gotta go Winchy. He just
I nominate himself. Okay, go ahead.
On the field, it's definitely me, and off the field, I'm going with Stinnett.
All right, Stinnett, round us out, bud.
On the field, I like Harrison's drip. Honestly, I'm about to give him a shout out. I like his a big babby shirt with the padded sleeve. Yeah, I like that. And then off the field, I'm not gonna say much.
Say him.
All right, here's another one for all you guys. If you could play any other position, because offensive lines count. Let's assume athletic ability is not a factor. Okay, what would you play? Go ahead, Noah.
Probably linebacker.
Okay.
Running back. I think nose or something. Something in defense.
Okay.
Underrated pick. I want to be a kicker. I feel like that would be fun.
I'd definitely say like long snapper. Be a D1 long snapper.
Okay. Well, you can still do that, Flannel.
Yeah.
No, snap to me.
Well, then I'd say D tackler.
Okay.
Receiver.
That's good.
I have to go with just strictly punting. Be a punter.
So okay. I know that can be good money. All right, last one. Favorite part of practice, and then y'all are all off the hook. Go ahead, Noel.
I like third downs because it's dessert.
This is the answer every week. What you got, Chandler? End of game. What is that?
I mean, you just
like the end of the game or the end of the game in practice. What is that?
It's like it's just field goals basically. They're easy.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of one.
We can come back to you. All right, Harrison. We know Harrison's got his ready.
Probably 2 minutes because it's the most like situational thing we do. But if I'm being like completely honest, it's probably like when they do punt drills and stuff like that because I don't have to do anything. Sorry.
Okay, Dave.
Mine's definitely execution, running buck sweep 8 straight times. That's my first part. Mine is
so then there's a little sarcasm.
No.
How about Coach Scout?
I'm gonna go with third downs.
Okay.
I'll probably go with Fundy because I'm just, it's like less of like people around me. I just kind of work on my own thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Elliot, you're back.
I think B drill. That ain't too bad.
It's B drill.
It's V drill. B drill. B drill. It's like one of the ones that's not bad. It's just fun to test like your strength against people and stuff.
Okay. Well, I thank you guys all for coming, and hopefully we'll run for 300 every week from now on. But appreciate y'all having us. We'll be right back. You're watching the Coach Bryan Moore Show.
Looking to remodel your home bathroom? Call Express Bath today.
They were good people to work with. I had no trouble with them.
We always take care of everybody, no matter how big and small.
The team at Express Bath, we do what we say we're going to do.
The highlight was seeing a new shower in a 60-year-old house. It was a great experience.
We're a real company, we're real people, and we love serving real customers.
Call us to schedule an appointment today. Express Bath. We'll bring the duck.
Alabama owned and Alabama loved.
All right, we're back. Coach, let's look to this week with Decatur. We win, we host, and that's huge.
Yep.
Decatur's kind of down, but this could be a season maker.
No doubt.
For them. So who are we looking for? And, rain's kind of in the forecast, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about next week.
Yeah, lucky they're on turf. I mean, that is a difference maker, I think, when it comes to rain. It can absorb almost whatever. And so as far as the elements, we'll handle that fine, we had a little bit of rain pregame Friday, but the field held up great. And, so anyway, but again, the biggest thing to me is going back on the road. We've just been in our comfort zone, for the last month. And I think that's something that's really important. Decatur, has some spots where they're pretty talented. The quarterback is I think the last of the dupers who, I've not been around here but 4 years, but the understanding is they've been around here forever, and they're such good players. Oh my gosh, the Mike last year was so good. And I don't know the older brother that was the quarterback, I think in maybe 18, but the youngest one's the quarterback, and he's a huge part of their offense. He's having to run it a lot, and he throws it good too. Like early, the second play of the Muscle Shoals game, he throws a big post. They get down to the 10-yard line, so he hit that one in stride, so that concerns me. The offensive line is gelling and getting better. You can see they're kind of like us, and early it was sort of all over the place, and then they've really gotten better lately. They got a big tight end that's 6'5", 6'6", tall guy that makes it. They go to him quite a bit when they've got to have it. I was just watching the Coleman game, and in the last drive they went to him a couple of times, especially to the boundary. So that's concerning. Covering a big guy like Marcus is kind of the same thought process there. And then they've got electric receiver number 10. I think it's just a sophomore that can really run. Okay. But they replaced a lot. Last year, I always say that those old coaches really know when their guys are going out, right. Sort of like Coach Gotze did with Luke's group. They have a great understanding of who's coming back and, and Coach Adcock did too. That was a great team last year, one that really overachieved. And, they struggled early. Ellis Dickman, his mom is a teacher in Hartselle, and he was the quarterback at Decatur last year. And so after the game, I just texted him and said, man, you just have put the program on your back, because when I first got here, they were not very good. And then as they went through last year, they had a great year. Won a playoff game with second-round team, an unbelievable year for them. And so, they did have to replace a lot like us. And so they're sort of finding themselves now and playing at a higher level. They really should have beat Coleman in the game. And so you kind of judge off scores and that sort of thing. But, they'll fight us. Again, it matters to them. It's senior night. We'll have to go play well.
All right. And finally, our Eddie Pruitt Ford fan question of the week. And I don't want to mess up the words.
Okay.
I read that one. As we look forward to the bye week, what are your plans as far as practice? Of course, I realize we have Decatur, but I feel good about that game. Our guys have played one heck of a schedule the last 4 weeks. That's Miss Dana McCutcheon. So what are you going to have planned, Coach?
Well, first, I'm glad she feels good about the game. That's good. That's good. She would. There's no question. But, yeah, the bye week will go Monday and Tuesday. We'll take Sunday off. Everybody will be off. It'll be good for us with our families and, having a normal day and, take a nap after church or whatever, like normal folks. But anyway, I think, that'll be important Monday and Tuesday. And then we got a Wednesday. We're going to go and take our seniors somewhere as a surprise for them and hang out just in the afternoon right after school and do something fun. All our coaches, go with them and just interact, because one of the most important things I've learned it holds true. Every team, everywhere I've been, they have to still want to be here. Right. It's crazy to say that. You think, well, they get in the playoffs. Why would you not want to be there? Because you're tired, man. You've been doing this since April. We started spring football practice at the end of April, okay? And it has not stopped all through the summer. So we've been cool weather, hot weather back to cool weather. That's how long we've been playing football. And so when you get to this point, do you really want to be here? So you shorten your practices. You get down to about 90 minutes. You get super efficient. It becomes more about mental prep. Physically, you kind of know who you are. Everybody's in shape. Cramps are over. All those kinds of things. And so it just becomes about wanting to be together, caring about each other, fighting for the guy beside you, and then just locking in every week, and not looking ahead. That's the biggest thing. We've got to focus on Decatur. I know everybody says this, but it's so true. And then once you get to Bob Jones, you're going to want to think about the first round, but you can't. You got to find a way to play well against Bob Jones, because everything, even if you win, if you don't take a step forward, it will cost you at some point. You got to just lock in on your plan, on your steps for success, and just not get ahead, and use the bye week as a time to recover both physically and mentally, and then just build your team back up, because they do get so torn apart. And then look, you got playing time stuff and parent, you just got, it's the nature of what we're doing. And so you're sort of putting them back together a little bit through that bye week. So we're excited about it, but we got to win a big one Friday first.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Coach. We'll be right back. You're watching the Coach Bryan Moore Show.
Come see us at Eddie Pruitt Ford. We're a proud supporter of Hartselle Athletics.
All right, and this week in Hartselle High Athletics, it's kind of a slow week as far as it goes up here at the high school. On Wednesday, October 18th, we're going to be hosting the area volleyball tournament, so come out and support our volleyball team. Thursday, we have nothing. Friday, we've got a ball game at Decatur. Saturday, no events. Never seen anything like it up here. Monday, the 25th, we get back into action with 9th and JV football. They're going to Decatur. They're hosting Decatur, HJHS basketball. It's basketball season, guys. They're going to Florence, and on Tuesday, bowling kicks up. They're going to be going to Madison. That's it. That's this week in Hartselle High Athletics.